Yes, everyone, you know what time it is. It's your boys Jack here, and we're going to be delivering our predicted lineup ahead of this Monday night kickoff against Fulham. We're going to have to wait the whole weekend to watch Spurs. We've waited a whole international break to watch Spurs, and now we're going to have to watch everyone else play this weekend until we come up against Fulham at home on Monday night. Last time out, it didn't go too well for us against Fulham at the Craven Cottage, but let's see how we can turn things around, maybe with a different lineup. So we're going to start with our man, Big Vic Guglielmo Vicario in goal. He has been rated, actually, as one of the best performing keepers so far this Premier League season. Big Vic is coming up against the actual other top keeper in the league, Bernd Leno. So it's going to be a battle between two of the best performing keepers so far this Premier League season. Let's see if our Italian stallion can pick up another clean sheet at home. We're going over to left back, and we're going to be discussing Destiny Udogie and what sort of impact he can be making in this game. He grabbed his first ever team minutes for the Azzurri, his first ever national call-up for the Italian national team at such a young age as well. What a player, and he absolutely deserved it. He's been rock solid defensively for us this season, and it's also crucial to how we try to build out from the back, from that sort of inverted fullback position, and his sort of progressive runs, his progressive carries with the ball have been really crucial to how we try to play in this Ange system. So Destiny Udogie, we're expecting to take his position still in that left back position. Moving on over to the right side, we're picking Pedro Porro once again. Surprisingly, he didn't get that call up to the Spanish national team. I'm not sure why. I thought he was actually in very good form, felt like he deserved it. So that did mean he was able to work with Ange Postecoglou over this international break, whereas actually Emerson Royale, who you maybe thought would be also working with Postecoglou, ended up not working with him because he got a call up sort of midway or halfway through our international break to join the Brazilian national team. So if there ever was a chance that maybe Ange was thinking about a bit of rotation or just see if maybe Emerson could get some minutes, I don't think it's going to happen now because Pedro Porro has been working with Ange this whole international break, whereas Emerson Royale actually hasn't been. He's been off with the Brazilian national team. So it is going to be Pedro Porro picked once again in that right back position. And let's see if the big Pedro can deliver some more crosses to our people up front. We do go to center back now. We're picking Mickey van de Ven once again. He played some of his first minutes for the Oranje, for the Dutch national team just recently. And he is such a joy to watch, both, I think, on the ball as well as off the ball. His recovery pace has been crucial for us in trying to get back and, cause any danger. It'd be lovely to see another race with the Dama Traore if we get that stage, if we get that opportunity. But I feel like this game is not going to be as much of, chasing down players like Traore. I think it's going to be more, dealing with kind of the physicality, dealing with more of the physical battles, because he'll probably come up against a guy like Raul Jimenez or maybe a Carlos Vinicius who used to play for Tottenham Hotspur. Both, I would say, very kind of physical number nines, decent in the air, hold up play type of striker. So maybe not as much sort of the pacey, kind of threat that he'll have to worry about, more kind of a physical threat up top. The man that can definitely handle those physical battles, though, is going to be Christian Romero. He's going to be joining him in that defense. He played extensively for the Argentina national team until he actually opted to take himself out of the game at halftime after he picked up a swollen ankle. He ruled himself okay, though, which is absolutely great news for this Fulham game. And I think Postecoglou also said that he'll be fine, ahead of this match. So the Rambam will continue back to normal service, everybody. No worries whatsoever. Let's go over to defensive midfield. And this is going to be one of the key changes. It is going to be Pierre Hojbjerg stepping in for Yves Bissouma. Yves Bissouma's red card will mean that we will have to look for somebody else, right, to play in that deeper position in the midfield. You could think about a Skip, you could think about a Pape Matar, but I think it's going to be Pierre Hojbjerg because Ange has more or less kind of confirmed that for us, saying that Pierre Hojbjerg will step in. He sort of sees him in that deeper midfield role and has said that he's done a fine job as a professional, kind of in training, and also just with whatever minutes he's been given. Ange has said that Hojbjerg's been a true professional. So we'll see how he does, and we'll see if he can give Postecoglou maybe something to think about for the remainder of the season as Hojbjerg tries to sort of cement his place in this type of team and see if he can continue to have this sort of backup role for Yves Bissouma. We're going on in midfield, and we're going to take a look at Pape Matar. He played some minutes for Senegal, which is absolutely amazing to see, especially for such a young kid. And he's very likely, I think, to keep his spot in the starting 11. We missed him in our last match against Fulham when we did end up not getting the result, at Craven Cottage. It was actually Oliver Skip who played in that match instead of a Pape Matar. And I think we're going to really see the difference between the two in this game. Pape Matar is so good both on the ball and off the ball. He works tirelessly to try to win the ball back for us. But when we're also in possession, if you notice, he makes a lot of sort of unselfish runs to either just be that passing option for somebody or to just sort of be that extra, runner, when we're in those sort of transitional moments. He's just been terrific for us. And in times when we've actually been out of the groove or we start to lose a bit of that sort of zippiness, to our game, I think Pape Matar has actually been sort of that role model, or has actually been that guy that's really driven us, through games. So I have nothing but praise for the kid, and I hope to see him start once again. James Maddison was called up by Gareth Southgate, but didn't seem to feature all that much, in the time that he was there. He didn't play at all, if I recall, in that Italy game. So he's not really, I think, gonna, be complaining too much about not getting time to rest. He really just was, hanging out, I think, with the England squad, working with Gareth Southgate. So that injury that he was carrying into the international break, I could be exaggerating here. I could be making a decision on my own here, but I feel like he probably had time to sort of recover, had time to sort of kind of nurse that injury. Whereas maybe other players in the team who were kind of carrying injuries into this international break maybe weren't given that opportunity. So James Maddison, I sort of expect him to be back to full fitness. I hope he's able to play at least for the whole 90 minutes, because with Bissouma missing in this game, we are going to need Maddison, I think, to really step it up in sort of the creativity department. It can't just be, him and Bissouma sort of running the show. It's got to be Maddison helping out Hojbjerg, helping out other players in the team to get some moves going and breaking down what is likely to be a very difficult Fulham defense. Let's go on over to our attack, though. We're going to go to left wing, and we're once again picking Richarlison. Postecoglou has played Richie down the left the last two matches against Liverpool and Luton Town. And while he didn't exactly bury the chances that were created for him, I actually think he did an all right job in creating chances for others. But I spoke to this with Dave, actually, for all the members, saying you got to do both, though. You can't just create chances for others and then not bury the chances that end up being created for you. Still, though, I think with maybe some injuries and kind of the forward line with Solomon, Perisic, and kind of a slightly unfit Sonny, I think Richarlison is going to keep his spot in the left wing position. And like I sort of said, he's not playing so terribly that he just misses his spot out, entirely. I think he's actually been playing a bit better of recent. It's just not playing well enough that I think he would automatically be given his place in the team. But I do expect Postecoglou to kind of keep that faith in Richie and keep his good work down that left-hand side. Moving over to the right-hand side, we're going to pick Dejan Kulusevski. Not really much to say other than, we just want him to continue on some good form. And I also want to say, I also do have my thoughts, from the IrishHotspur, from Dave and I, to Kulusevski, to the Swedish national team, to the families and friends that were there on that night in Belgium. It's something that you don't want to see anybody have to go through. And just want to say our thoughts and prayers for all the families, friends, players, anybody who was affected or involved in that evening. For Dejan Kulusevski. But other than that, I just wish him all the best. And I think he's been absolutely flying form. He's been one of our chief creators and is working so hard off of the ball as well. He's so valuable for us out of possession. So he keeps his spot in that right-hand side. Let's move on, last but not least, to our striker, and it is going to be Sonny. Once again, he was called up by Jurgen Klinsmann, despite the concerns of many Spurs fans over the injuries and the knocks that he has been kind of dealing with and pushing through this season. Hard to say how much Sonny has actually recovered, it feels like, from those injuries, because it felt like he wasn't given much of a break over that international break by Jurgen Klinsmann. And so I am a little worried that Sonny isn't going to be able to play the whole 90 minutes. So while I do think he's going to be given the start because Postecoglou hasn't ruled him out in any way, I'm kind of worried that maybe he hasn't really been given a ton of time to really recover over his international break. So with kind of what we've been seeing recently, these sort of 60th minute, 65th minute kind of substitutions for Sonny, I could see that happening once again. But I think I'll leave it there, everybody. Do smash that like button, please, on the video. Hit those comments down below if there's any sort of decisions I made on this predicted lineup that maybe you expect to be different. Maybe players that Postecoglou might throw in, like a certain Brian Hill or someone like that, might step in and take a starting spot. But everybody, come on, you Spurs. In the big Ants we trust. We never stop. See ya. Everywhere we go.